In this interview series, we ask the interviewees to share their personal memories of a deceased musician or bandmate they worked with while they were in this world. Joe Stewart was a respected member of the Bluegrass Boys and a mentor to many musicians. Can you share any personal memories or lessons you learned from him?
Oh yeah, he taught me how to play like Merle Travis guitar, three fingered. And I mean, he worked with me. He did everything in the world for me. He taught me how to drive a bus, and he'd set up with me, when I was driving and stuff, and play that stuff for me and talk to me. He was just so good to me. I mean, I could never thank him enough for all that he did for me. And
Jack-
we'd jam a lot too, and he could play anything and play it good. It wasn't just like, a lot of people like me. I play a lot of things, but Joe played them good. And he was just such a good guy. I mean, you couldn't find anybody to say anything bad about Joe Stewart. He was just a good man.
Joe Stewart was an incredible musician who perhaps didn't get as much recognition as he deserved.
That is
Thoughts on
right.
that?
Yeah, he should have got a whole lot more recognition than he did.
Right.
I mean, he's the only person I think that played every instrument with Bill. I mean, even mandolin when Bill, I think he had a wreck or something, and Joe played mandolin for him too.
Why do you think he didn't receive as much recognition as he should have?
No, he didn't. He should be. He's one that should be in Bluegrass Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree that.
In my opinion, he did. I mean, he did so much for Bill. Bill would call him and say, "I need a bass player." Joe come out and play bass. I need a guitar player. Won't you come out and play twin fiddles with Kenny? And he'd come and do it.
So in your time with Bill, was there a lot of, you saying Joe taught you and helped you and was very open and sharing. Was that common among the members of the group?
Yeah. Kenny did too. I mean, Kenny teach me in fiddle tunes, and Paul Warren, played with Lester. He used to teach me those fiddle tunes a lot. I thought the world of him too. But I don't know. I just try to learn. At that time, I just tried to learn anything I could from anybody. And Joe didn't mind. He didn't seem like he minded sitting down with me and teaching me.
You played with incredible musicians in the Bluegrass Boys, including Kenny Baker, James Monroe, and Monroe Fields. What was it like working with them?
It was good. It really was. And James didn't stay very long. He started his own band, and then Joe come in and playing guitar, and Monroe and it. We worked a lot back then too, and after a while it really got tight. It turned into really good. And Bill was happy with us, and so it went over good. And Bill, one time, I'll tell you, we'd played Frontier Ranch up in out of Dayton, Ohio, up there. I can't think of the name of the town, but anyway, and we got on the bus, and I had on a pair of short pants, and we sitting there on the bus, and Kenny got up there in the driver's seat, and he said, "You ready to go, Chief?" And Bill said, "Just as soon as Jack puts some britches on, we'll be ready to go."
Well, he was a stickler for dress, right? Ties, suits, the white hats, and that offstage and on then, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't care if you wore blue jeans and stuff, but you didn't wear shorts. I was young, and did a lot.
So I have a question. What was it like being on the road and traveling by bus from one gig to the next for so many days in a row?
It's good, it's just part of life. I still camp a lot, and I bought a school bus and I building it into a camper.
I did too.
It's great, isn't it?
It's fun. Yeah. When I lived in the States. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife, she retired in 2000, and we bought a big motorhome, like a 40-foot, 3 slide outs and all that kind of stuff. And we just traveled for a while. We rented out our house and then we wound up living down in Georgia. But I sold that one day. I'm bad. I'll sell anything, So I sold it, and and we moved back up here in Kentucky. Her father wasn't in good shape at all, so we moved back up here to help take care of him, and which he passed away a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, I come back up here, and I'd always wanted to build a bus, and so one day I just went and bought a school bus and brought it in here, and my wife thought I'd lost my mind, but it's took me a while, but I've been building on it some. It's fun.
A big old Bluebird?
Well, it's a Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's not a big bus though. It's shorter. I didn't think I could take that on right now.
Mm. I consider the father and son album, where you play the banjo,
Yeah.
to be one of the masterpieces of bluegrass.
Oh,
Every song on the album is just fantastic.
thank
I
you.
particularly love Love Please Come Home.
Yeah.
Your banjo work and James Monroe's vocals are incredible.
Oh, thank
How
you.
do you remember about recording that song with Bill and James?
Well, James, James had a house, and I was just a kid and had a car. That's about it. And I lived in James's house for a while, and for a pretty good while actually. But I always thought the world of James. We would run around together a bunch and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We were both young and single. But that album, it was really good. I mean, it was enjoyable to do. It kind of made me nervous. Kind of made me nervous. I'd never recorded with Bill, and we didn't take many second takes on anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to do it at the time, when you was doing it. And
Must have been tough.
it was.
Yeah, really.
It really was. But I've sure got some good memories of him,
Mm-hmm. About Kenny Baker, okay. You and Kenny Baker were great players on the guest players on the Buck White Down Home Folks album. And you also played on Kenny's album, Kenny Baker Country.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that Kenny really took young Jack under his wing.
He did.
Did I get that right? I'd love to
did.
hear more about your experience with the Kenny.
Well, Kenny, Kenny was, he was from not too awful far from where I am, you know.
Mm.
And you know, he was so good. It's unbelievable how good he really was.
Mm.
And he would, you know, he would teach me those fiddle tunes and stuff, and I'd play them. And he'd say, "No, no, no, you play it this way." And
I see.
but he, you know, he was really good to me. He actually, you know, I can't think of the name of it. Jerusalem Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting ready to record that when I left the group, you know. And I wished I'd have stayed and recorded it, you know. There, a friend of mine has got a tape of, we played it on the Opry one night. And he's got a tape of us playing it.
Bluegrass has evolved a lot over the years. Where do you see the future of bluegrass music?
I don't have no idea. You know, I listen to some things, you know, like on XM and stuff, that I wouldn't have dreamed it was bluegrass, you know, but I guess I come out of the old school, you know, and but man, there's some really good stuff out there too.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not saying that some of the crazy, this off the wall stuff is bad, but I mean, it's just, you know, I like old country too.
Mm.
That pretty much explains that.
Uh-huh. Jack, I like to ask this question. You as a banjo player, okay?
Mm-hmm.
These days, it's not uncommon to see banjo-less bands at bluegrass festivals. Do you consider what they are doing to be bluegrass, or is it something else?
Well, it's I don't know how to say it. A lot of it, you know, a lot of it's just hard driving bluegrass, but a lot of it to me is not, you know. But I kind of feel that way about, you know, a lot of music. It's changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like in country music, the Alan Jackson, George Straits, George Jones, and all that. There's not many of them. And I feel that way. They're the Bill Monroes, you know, Lester Flatt and the Osborne brothers, and Jim and Jesse, and there's just not very many of them left.
What seems even established people like Del McCoury and his family they're certainly bluegrass in my mind, but a lot of the things they've been doing the last 10 or 15 years are not traditional bluegrass at all.
Right.
The songs they're covering and the styles they're playing. It's
right.
I'm still enjoying it, but
yeah, me too. I really enjoy it. It's just a lot different from what, you know, what I come out of.
Right.
You know, I'll tell you this. I feel like I grew up at the most fortunate time that there could have been. You know, I was so fortunate to, you know, to grow up at that time because, you know, Bill and all of them was still going, you know, still going strong. And I was just really lucky, you know, to get to be around those kind of people. Bill was he was one of the strongest people I ever saw in my life. He was amazing. I saw him at Bean Blossom one time walk up to a fence post that was in the ground, you know, solid, and start shaking it some, and he wound up pulling that fence post right out of the ground. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, strongest man I ever seen.
Physical strength to go with his character strength.
Yes. And he didn't care to work either. I used to shoe horses and mules and stuff. And I used to go over and shoe and trim his mule's feet mainly. And he had a couple of horses there that I'd shoe, take care of them mules. He believed in everybody working. Wasn't anything to go to Bean Blossom and put up hay, you know.
This has been one of the biggest bluegrass mysteries for me. Why, with your incredible musicianship and talent, haven't you released a leader album under your own name? How come?
I just never felt I was good enough to do it. I mean, you know, I just a player, you know, I just pick for everybody else. That's pretty much.
That's very humble.
No, I don't know. We did, here a few years ago, we put a band together. John Rigsby and Bo Isaac and Thomas, myself, we put a band together called Summertown Road. And we started,
yeah, 2008 or something, right? Yeah,
something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the closest I ever came to really doing anything, you know, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work out, you know.
So you don't have any plan to make a leader album?
Not really, you know. My wife sings some, you know, and mainly the playing, what I do is she'll come up with a song that she wants to do, and I'll make a track for it. You know, I'll play all the instruments on it, you know, whatever she needs. And that's about what I do, you know.
We'll be waiting for that coming out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've talked about releasing some stuff, you know. We did a Christmas album thing at one time, you know, just for the fun.
Oh, okay.
And we never did release it, you know. We just recorded it. I put some of them every once in a while on Facebook, you know, one of some of the songs. It's fun, you know. I play, you know, I play mostly, you know, I'll play kind of bluegrassy style, you know, but I'll play banjo and fiddle and guitar and harmonica or something, or steel, electric guitar and piano and stuff, and you know, just kind of put it all down and mix it together.
That's my last question, Jack.
Oh,
I feel it's only right to ask you this. About a month ago, we sadly lost Buck White. I imagine he meant a lot to you, both musically and personally. Would you like to share a memory or anything you like to say about him?
Well, you know, I worked with him there for a while because, you know, Sharon and I was married, you know, and we I think, I can't remember. I think I played on 2 of their albums, something like that.
Right.
And we, I'll tell you, speaking of a school bus, we were traveling, you know, and we was traveling in a car, and it was about to kill us, you know. But so we went and bought this school bus, and we got it home, and it was geared so low. I mean, and it'd get about 3 or 4 miles to a gallon, and so we geared it, you know, put another rear end in it and geared it up. But it just sucked that gas. So we didn't use it much. But Buck was a good guy, and I learned a lot from him, you know. You can listen to those albums and tell that, you know. As we was playing a lot of swing type stuff then.
Great.
Buck was a good man.
All right, I hate to say this, but we are running out of time, Jack. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible stories with us today.
Well,
It was
thank you.
truly an honor to have you here.
Honored to be here.
Appreciate the time you've taken and the insights you've given us into music and your background. And it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. I appreciate y'all doing what you're doing and promoting the music.
Thank you. Now, and to all of you watching, thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this interview as much as we did.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more interviews like this.
That's right, and stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be talking with Butch Robbins. Until then, take care and keep the music alive.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.